Knicks Pistons. Interesting series for a lot of reasons. The Knicks have a lot of pressure on their backs. I think Tom Thibodeau has a lot of pressure on his back. But the Pistons, like, even though this doesn't feel like a team that should win a first round series, like this should be the year that they kind of get through it and like, wow, we made the postseason, won a whole bunch of games. Next year's the one we build on. Like, they've played really well against the New York Knicks this year. Cade Cunningham has played really well against the New York Knicks. Like, the biggest intrigue to me in this series is there a continuation of that? Because if there's a continuation of that, the Knicks might be in some trouble against a team like this.
Look, I think the Knicks should win the series. They have a better roster, and I appreciate everything that the Pistons have done. But I think it was you maybe who said, it's one thing to get from 20 to 40. It's another thing to get from 40 to 50.
Big jump, yeah.
Right? I mean, the Knicks have been playing in that top half of the bracket since the beginning of the year. The Pistons have barely made it into, the Pistons were surprised to make it into the playoffs. I don't want to say barely made it in. They more than barely made it in. But you know what I mean. This was not, as you said, they're just tasting this air. I think the Knicks have a better roster. I think they match up better. I think it will be a gritty series. I think it will be a physical series. I think we will get an all-out. I think the games will be really scrappy and fun. The one thing about the Knicks I wonder about, because I see it with the fan base, and I don't know how much has crept into the team, there is a fatalism about these playoffs because it is very clear that the Knicks will not be favored in the second round and that Boston has just had their way with them and that it's sort of like, okay, well, what's even the point? We know they're going to lose in the second round. We know it might be ugly. And even though losing in the second round to a team that, in my mind, is still the favorite to win the title makes you no slouch, losing in the first round to a team that, as you pointed out, won how many games last year?
14.
Yeah, there you go. That would be a real problem. That would be a three-alarm fire.
I mean, this is one of those cases, Rachel, where like the numbers are telling us to like consider the Pistons a real threat here. Like, they were 3-1 against the Knicks during the regular season.
I get it, but if the Knicks are playing as hard as they should be playing,
they don't play hard.
With the talent they have. No, I think some of these games, every team does it. You don't think in some of the games the Pistons won, part of the mindset of the other team was still, it's the Pistons.
Against any other team, I would believe that. But the Knicks play hard every single game. Like, Tom Thibodeau rolls guys out there when they're up 20 in the fourth quarter. He's got his starters into these games.
I would not put the season record as my arbiter on who's going to win this playoff series.
All right, let me throw
I think it will be close and scrappy. I think the Knicks' mentality will be a big decider here.
Let me throw a couple stats at. The Knicks are 6-16 this year against teams with top 10 point differentials. Like, in the second half of the season, that's what the Pistons had. They had a top 10 point differential. So there's that. More abstractly, like, Cade Cunningham is awesome, and he's really awesome against the New York Knicks. Like, that's a real thing. Like, he feasted against New York in the regular season. He averaged 31 points per game, 8 assists per game in 33 minutes, shot 56% from the floor, 52% from three-point line, 80% at the free throw line. The Pistons' offense in general torched the Knicks' defense, which is not good. It is not a good defense. 121.4 points per 100 possession with Cade running the show. 8.1 points per 100 higher than New York's full season defensive rating. So put it this way. If Cade Cunningham has a great series, Pistons in 5. Like, that's how it could go.
Do you think he's going to be the best player on the floor?
I don't know. I fall back on this idea that there has to be a learning curve, right? Like, there has to be stumbles that a team takes along the way. Mm-hmm. But they're 3-1 during the regular season. The Knicks defense sucks. And
all right,
their offense is really good in Detroit. And Detroit, by the way, it's not like all these guys are young. Like, Beasley's been there before.
Yeah.
Tobias Harris has been there before. Like, all these,
no,
they've got a bunch of guys that have been there.
I don't mean it that way. I just mean that, look, I think to your point about progressions, we see it year after year, decade after decade. You sort of make it this far, you make it that far, then you have to make it that far the next year. However, the first round is anyone's game. I have seen young teams come out of nowhere and upset a more veteran, more experienced, higher rated team in the first round all the time. So I don't think that really even applies to this round. I do think if the Knicks are firing on all cylinders, there's a reason that they were the number 3 team in the East this season. I just don't think you discount that. I mean, I think in the West, where 4 could have been anyone going into the final game of the season, I don't think you can take seeding into account.
It was competitive. I guess 3. Well, I mean, 3 was...
No, I mean, the Knicks were in that number 3 slot most of the season. I just think there's a reason for that. So if New York gives this series the time and attention and emphasis, and we can win this, that we expect a Tom Thibodeau team to do, I think that they will win the series.
Knicks fans will revolt if they lose in the first round.
But I worry about that fatalism.
Nobody's coming back.
Well, okay. What do you mean no one's coming back?
All right, well, I don't know. I traded everybody.
No.
I worry, and we can have this broader discussion.
Tibbs might be in trouble if they lose in the first round.
If and when the Knicks get eliminated, we can have a broader discussion about what is the ceiling on this team, right? You get
it's too low.
It's way too low.
They need to do something.
It's way too low. Cat had a great offensive year.
Yeah.
He's not going to evolve into a defensive player. I'm not sure you go into next year thinking a healthy Mitchell Robinson is going to turn you into what the Wolves were a year ago.
I think they know that.
Not the Knicks fans I talk to.
I'm not talking about the fans. I'm talking about the franchise. I think the franchise, the front office knows they've got to do something this summer.
Yeah. All right, real quick.
Assuming they're not run out of town for losing to the Pistons in the first round.
That would be bad. If they get beaten 5, it's going to get ugly in New York.